When the Royal Shakespeare Company announced its casting for Macbeth, it was the kind of news that made both theatre critics and pop culture bloggers sit up. Sam Heughan, beloved for his role in Outlander, was stepping into the tragic, haunted shoes of Macbeth. Leah Williams, one of the UK's most respected stage actresses, would take on the complex role of Lady Macbeth. The match seemed perfect. The star power of a television icon paired with the gravitas of a seasoned Shakespearean actor. Tickets flew out the door, interviews were booked weeks in advance, and the press machine started humming. Early days, early chemistry. In those first rehearsals, everything seemed to click. Sam approached Macbeth as a man in a slow, inevitable spiral, physically imposing but psychologically vulnerable. Leah's Lady Macbeth was razor-sharp, her ambition wrapped in a regal calm that could turn lethal in an instant. They played off each other beautifully. The director was thrilled, telling colleagues, "They've found the heartbeat of the play already." The first sparks of gossip. The first hints of trouble came not from the rehearsal room, but from outside it. A blurry photograph appeared online, Sam and Leah leaving the theatre separately, neither looking particularly cheerful. The caption was speculative. Trouble in Macbeth Paradise? It was the kind of post most actors ignore. But then came a second photo a week later, paired with a fan account's anonymous tip about tension between the leads. Still vague, still unverified, but enough to catch fire in online forums. The press starts prodding. The real shift happened when the press junkets began. In one interview for a major arts program, the host joked about how close Macbeth and Lady Macbeth must be behind the scenes. Sam laughed politely. Leah smiled, but her eyes flickered, a tiny signal to those paying attention that the question wasn't welcome. A clip of that moment went viral with captions like, "Ooh, awkward," and "Something's up here." From then on, nearly every promotional conversation had at least one question, subtle or otherwise, about their off-stage relationship. From whispers to headlines. Soon, the rumors stopped being just side chatter in fan spaces. Small entertainment blogs began running headlines. Tension brewing between Macbeth stars? Is the RSC's dream casting under strain? Each article was based on the same recycled material, the same blurry photos, the same interview clip, the same speculation. But repetition has a way of making fiction feel like fact. The backstage impact. Inside the theater, the mood began to shift. Cast members, though professional, could feel the extra weight in the air. The stage manager found herself fielding more questions from journalists than ever before. Even crew members were being approached online by anonymous sources, fishing for stories. Sam, usually relaxed and approachable, started spending more time alone in his dressing room. Leah, who often stayed after rehearsal to run lines with other cast members, began leaving promptly. It wasn't that they weren't speaking, they were. But their conversations became shorter, more functional, less infused with the easy camaraderie they'd had in the early days. The art gets overshadowed. Perhaps the most frustrating part for both actors was that the work itself was thriving. Their scenes were sharper, their chemistry on stage undeniable. The stripped-down RSC production demanded complete focus, and they were delivering it. But outside the rehearsal room, the conversation was increasingly about them, not Macbeth. Fans who had been excited to see the play were now posting, "I wonder if the tension will show on stage." The rumors turn ugly. As the opening drew near, the gossip began to take a darker tone. Some posts hinted at a major disagreement over creative direction. Others suggested, without any evidence, that a personal relationship between the two had soured. Neither Sam nor Leah addressed any of it publicly. They kept their heads down and focused on the play. But privately, the situation was wearing thin. The last straw. The breaking point came during a day of back-to-back interviews. In the first session, a reporter asked point-blank, "So, are the rumors true? Are you two at odds off stage?" Sam smiled tightly, choosing his words with care. "We're here to talk about the play. That's what matters." Lia's response was equally controlled, but sharper. I think it's a shame when people focus on gossip instead of the work. By the end of the day, both were visibly drained. In the car ride back to the theater, neither spoke for several minutes. Finally, Lia broke the silence. We can't keep letting them write the story for us. Sam nodded. Then we write it ourselves. It was the moment they decided the silence had to end. The morning after that tense car ride, Sam and Lia arrived early at the RSC offices. Waiting for them was the company's press officer, a PR consultant brought in for damage control, and the director of Macbeth. The consultant didn't waste time. You have two options. You can say nothing and hope it burns out, or you can address it directly and risk feeding the fire. The middle ground? A statement that doesn't dignify the gossip, but makes your position clear. Sam leaned forward. If we do this, it has to come from both of us. One voice. Lia agreed. And it has to remind people why we're here, the play. Not the noise. Crafting the statement. They worked together for over an hour, weighing every phrase. Too vague, and it would be dismissed as evasion. Too direct, and it might give the rumors more oxygen. The final version read: We are aware of the speculation surrounding our working relationship. While we appreciate the passion of theater audiences, we want to be clear. Our focus has always been, and will continue to be, the work we bring to the stage each night. We are proud of what we've created together and look forward to sharing it with audiences without distraction. It was calm, united, and most importantly, it reframed the narrative around their shared commitment. The statement goes public. At 11 a.m., the RSC posted the statement across all official channels. Within minutes, entertainment blogs were running headlines like Heughan Williams break silence on backstage rumors. Macbeth stars shut down gossip, refocus on the play. Fans flooded the comments. Some applauded their professionalism. Others, predictably, read between the lines, convinced the statement was a cover-up. But for the first time in weeks, the actors felt like they had put their own words into the conversation. The interviews that followed. The next day, both appeared together on a morning arts program. The interviewer opened with the obvious. You've both been in the headlines, not just for your performances, but for rumors about your working relationship. How are you dealing with that? Lia smiled warmly but didn't flinch. The stage is where our energy goes. Everything else is just background noise. Sam added. People will talk, but what matters is that every night, we walk on stage and tell one of the greatest stories ever written, and we do it together. It wasn't a fiery denial. It wasn't defensive. It was confident, measured, and it shifted the conversation back to Macbeth. The audience reaction. By the time opening night arrived, the focus in the foyer had changed. Yes, there were still whispers, but now they were about whether the statement was a savvy PR move or a genuine united front. Either way, the drama had become a subplot, not the main attraction. Fans posted messages online like, I respect how they handled it, with class. Honestly, if there was tension, it's only making the performance better. Opening night under the spotlight. From the first moment Sam strode on stage as Macbeth, the energy was different. His performance was taut, urgent. Lia's Lady Macbeth radiated control, her every word weighted with intention. If there was any lingering tension between them, it was invisible, or perhaps transformed into the kind of raw, magnetic charge that made the audience lean forward in their seats. By the time the final curtain fell, the applause was thunderous. Critics in the front row nodded to each other. The performances had eclipsed the gossip. The critical response. The reviews the next morning were telling. The Guardian. Heughan and Williams share a crackling chemistry. Whatever their off-stage reality, on stage they are locked in perfect step. The Telegraph. Rumors be damned. This Macbeth is a triumph of two strong leads working at the peak of their powers. While a few outlets couldn't resist mentioning the drama in passing, the majority of coverage praised the production itself. The statement had done its job. Backstage after the storm. In the days that followed, the backstage atmosphere lightened. The cast and crew, relieved to have the focus back on the work, fell into an easy rhythm. Sam and Lia, though still professional rather than overly friendly, found moments of quiet conversation before and after performances. One night, after the audience had gone and the theater was empty, Lia lingered at the edge of the stage. Sam joined her. "Glad we said something," she admitted. Sam smiled faintly. "Me too. Silence is powerful, but sometimes, so is speaking."